By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users, and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement, and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
By 2025, India's digital marketing industry is predicted to be worth rupees 4,000 crores. India has over 40 crores internet users, and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement, and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.
Hi guys, I hope I'm visible and audible. I think so, I am. I would need a reconfirmation. All right, perfect. Cool. Hey, hi, everybody. Very good to finally see you, meet you in person. So we'll quickly start with this session. Hello, hi, how are you? So we'll quickly start with this session. Before any further ado, let me just present my screen. Just let me know once it's visible. Can you guys see the screen? Perfect. 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 So we'll start with this session. Let me just quickly tell you a little bit about myself first. So most people know me as a brand marketer. And, I used to lead business marketing for Dine Out. It's a Times internet company. And now I'm, the senior product marketing manager at Swiggy Instamart. But my friends and family know me as this ambitious girl from a very small town in Ghaziabad. You know, good evening. Hello. Hey, Tesh. Uh, friends and family know me as this ambitious girl from this very small town of Ghaziabad. I started my journey like most marketers in India. I studied BTech. However, I was fortunate enough to secure a marketing communications internship with National Instruments. So many thought that defense and marketing is a very imbecile combination. However, that's what trained me to become a disruptive marketer. In fact, it's something I embodied as a trait in me, which has helped me continue my streak of marketing for different industries like the FMCG, like automotive, e-commerce, affiliate, non-profits, F&B, production houses. So from marketing on site in the e-commerce space to leading business marketing for Dine Out to now being the senior product marketing manager at Swiggy, people think that I've come a long way. But honestly, what I feel is that I've just begun, and there are miles and miles to go. Apart from work, I like engaging in qualitative research and leveraging the same for problem solving. So, that's why I keep doing a lot of these sessions, because I feel that it gives the insider to what the youth today is thinking. Outside of work, I'm a self-confessed shopaholic and I love board games with a borderline risk of being extremely competitive. I also enjoy, spending long hours on my social media handles and being a part-time influencer on Instagram as and when I can. So this is all about myself, and I always believe that your network is your net worth, and that's another reason why I keep doing such sessions, because I feel that the more you interact with people, the more you get to know what's happening in and around. You know. Um, so yeah, that's a little bit about myself. Now before I begin this session, we'll start in a couple of minutes, but in the meanwhile, I'd love if some of you can tell me what you do, where are you coming from, and what is exciting you about this session. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, please. Whoever wants to comment, it'll be lovely. You can just write to me in the chat and I would love to read something out. Okay, I don't know why, but I'm unable to see the. Okay, yeah, that's why. Fair. Okay. Hi, Abhishek from Bangalore. Hello, Abhishek. Good to meet you. I am a full-time trader. Oh, that's great. Good evening, Ayan. Jayesh writes, I'm a real estate agent in Mumbai City learning consumer psychology from you. Okay. Will help me to create buyer persona for campaign as audience nature is changing very frequently. That's amazing. I'm a businessman here. Hey, Abhishek, welcome. I wish I was a businesswoman someday, perhaps. Perfect. Okay, so I think I know a couple of things about you guys now. We'll quickly start with the session. Okay, so before getting started, I have something really cool to share with you. you get the access to this presentation, which is optimizing marketing through behavioral economics and psychology. But my dear friends, nothing in this world is free. So what do you want to do to get this presentation? I mean, obviously, I am sharing it, but just so that you get it, in your inboxes, there's something that I love for you guys to do. And here's what I want you to do. Let's do a barter. Okay, it's a barter deal. You will drop in one LinkedIn post. So make a LinkedIn post about how excited you are about this webinar. Tag Sanjula Miglani, tag Edred, and use the hashtag masterclass by Sanjula. Do this quickly, and the ones who do it get the access to this presentation. So I'm waiting. Quickly, please do this. Oh, Jayesh, sounds great. Great. Very quickly then, I'm going to give you guys exactly 2 minutes on the clock, and let's see how many mentions I get, how many mentions Edred gets for this. Very quickly then. Hey Guru Raj, hi. He says I'm Guru Raj from Vijaypura. Hi Guru Raj, very good to meet you as well. Very quickly then, I'm waiting for just type a yes if you're doing this currently in the chat, so that I can hold on for another minute or so. Quickly type in a yes. Don't have a LinkedIn. Oh, Mangesh, that's the first tip of this session. Please, if you want to be in this world, if you want to learn digital marketing, if you want to have a lot of leads for yourself, you really need to have a LinkedIn channel, LinkedIn profile. Probably you can attend a session from me on personal branding. It's very important to have this in today's world. Thank you, Hafiz. I am waiting for that mention. Mangesh says, sure. So right after this workshop, Mangesh, your task would be to please make a LinkedIn profile for yourself. Jayesh, I'm waiting. You say, I too not yet. Oh, you also don't have a LinkedIn profile. My God. Should have one. So right after this session, then probably you can do that. Great. So whoever posts, on LinkedIn gets this presentation from my end. You can just write to me on my email ID, which I'm going to share here, and get an access to this presentation. 1 second, I think now I'll post it. Once you have shared the screenshot of the LinkedIn post, I think we will send in the presentation to you guys. All right, so moving on. What are we going to do today? We are going to do a masterclass on behavioral economics and consumer psychology in the market. Before I move on to questions, before I move on to a couple of things, let me give you a quick introduction of, what brings me here. 10 years of a marketing professional, ex-startup junkie. I started at 18. I am a micro influencer on both LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm a research enthusiast. I go crazy when I'm researching. I feel that marketing is all about research and nothing else. And just a second. Yes. And I enjoy volunteering. I enjoy competitiveness on board games. So yeah, this is something that's way away from my work life. Jayesh says, thanks for sharing. Thank you, Jayesh. All right, moving on. Please name this character, and I want wrong answers only. Please name this character for me. Wrong answers only. I know everybody knows the right one. In the chat, very quickly then. Guys, this session has to be very participative. Otherwise, we lose the essence of it. Okay, robot, Shaktiman, human being. Nice. Ayan, I like your answer. Subhash, it's very interesting. Looks like Shaktiman to me also sometimes. I think the concept. Oh, Manoj says this is Sanjula. Yes, I wish I was a female Iron Man. I really wish. Spider-Man, Chakali, that's nice. It's a mental human, okay, can be one wearing a mask. Power Ranger, great. Now that we have had a good icebreaker session, I think everybody's in the mood to learn a little more. I have more answers coming up. So, hey, Iron Man nahi hai yaar. Iron Man is the right answer. I said wrong answers only. Perfect. So, question one, this session has to be very, very interactive. Otherwise, we will never be able to crack the code to behavioral economics, right? Or consumer psychology. The entire agenda is for us to interact more in today's session. So, it'll be less of me yapping, and more of us interacting about it. So, I have a question for you guys, and you're going to just make a note of this question. You're not going to answer it, okay? There are 4 questions. We're going to take all answers simultaneously, right? So make a note in your diary or on your computer or anything. Question 1, a bat and a ball cost rupees 110 in total, and the bat costs rupees 100 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? I'm going to repeat the question, although it's flashing on your screens. I'm going to give you 1 minute on the clock to answer it. A bat and a ball cost rupees 110 in total, and the bat costs rupees 100 more than the ball. So how much does the ball cost? You have a minute on the clock. Let's see who answers it. Okay. Pura says 10. Mangesh says 5. Abhishek says 10. 10, 5, 9. Okay, I have a couple of answers coming in. Very interesting. All right, guys, I'm going to move to question number 2 now because the 1 minute is over. I'm going to come back to the answer. The next question is, on my way to the office, I saw 3 kids. Each kid had 1 bag. In each bag, there were 3 cats. Each cat had 3 kittens. Kids, bags, cats, and kittens. How many were going to the office? Question mark. I'm going to repeat the question and set 1 minute timer on the clock. It's 4:24, sorry, 5:24. I'm going to take the answers till 5:25. On my way to the office, I saw 3 kids. Each kid had 1 bag. In each bag, there were 3 cats. Each cat had 3 kittens. Kids, bags, cats, and kittens. How many were going to the office? Very quickly then. 30 seconds have already gone by. I see some answers on the chat. 6, 1, 1, 1, 10. Okay, 24. 1, 24, 14, 9, 24, 24. Okay, 81. Okay, all right. Okay, the time is over. We're going to move to the next question then. Question number 3. How many F's are in this sentence? Finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of years. I'm going to set 1 minute to the clock. It's 5:25. I'm going to take answers to 5:26. Question number 3 is on your screen, guys. How many F's are in this sentence? I have some answers coming up. 3303. Okay. Sorry, it's 27. Okay, probably for the last one is what you're writing. 5, 3. Okay. Okay. 4. Okay, Manoj. All right. 5. Chakali says, Archana says 5. Mangesh says 4. Hassan says 4. 8. All right. I didn't understand the question. Okay, Buddha, I think the time is over. Probably next time. But the question was, how many F's can you see in the sentence which is flashing on the screen? Okay, moving on. The next question is, how many of each animal did Moses take on the ark? I'm going to repeat, set 1 minute on the clock. It's 5:26. I'm going to take answers till 5:27. Question number 4 is, how many of each animal did Moses take on the ark? The time starts now. Quickly then. I have some answers coming up on my screen. Let me have a look. Okay, 2, 5, 2, 2, 8. Okay, 10, 9. Okay. Okay, 7. Okay, 9, 9, 5. We still have about 20 seconds on the clock. 5. Okay. All right, time is over. Very interesting. I love the participation. Let's come to the answers because, hey, what are questions without answers? So, very quickly, then, answering these for you. A bat and a ball cost rupees 110 in total, and the bat costs rupees 100 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? The answer is 5. So, whoever answered 5, kudos, you guys, because the ball is rupees 5 and then the bat is 100 rupees more, so that is plus 105, which is equal to 110, and that's the correct answer. I would love to know who all answered correctly, so you can just write on a chat saying me and I'll quickly get that. Yes, yes, beautiful, perfect, perfect. All right, moving to the next answer. On my way to the office, I saw 3 kids. Each kid had one bag. In each bag, there were 3 cats. Each cat had 3 kittens. How many were going to the office? The answer is only me, guys. The answer was 1. That's just me. Why will the cats and the kittens and the bags and the, kids go to to the office? So the answer was 1. And whoever's answered this correctly, great. That's beautiful. Perfect. Moving on. Question 3. How many F's are in this sentence? The answer is there are 6 F's. Okay, so finished, that's 1 F. Files is 2. Result of, that's 3. Scientific is 4. Combined with the experience of years of is again 5. And the F that was in the question. So there are total of 6 F's in this. And the people who answered this correctly, great, kudos to you. So this is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. And that's the reason, that's another lesson that tells us that, hey, there are 6 F's. So great, whoever's answered this correctly, because this was one of the tough ones. And I admire whoever's answered this, correctly. All right, moving on. Question number 4. How many of each animal did Moses take on the ark? Guys, most of you answered this wrong. It's none, because there was no Moses ark. It was the Noah's ark, right? So the correct way to look at this is that you really need to read into the lines, read into what you're saying, what you're looking at. It was a fun activity. I really liked it. And I'm so excited that so many of you got this correctly. Moving on. Cheers. I'm very excited. What in this session are we going to learn today? Well, you must unlearn whatever you've learned. So that is the basic essence of today's session. Please unlearn what you have learned. And that is what's going to, probably take us into the depths of this session. Thanks, Jayesh. I enjoyed it too. All right, moving on. What will you learn today? You learn the basics of behavioral economics. You will learn the fundamental business economics theories on consumer psychology. You will learn real life applications and case studies. So guys, what I really believe is in the power of case studies, the power of learning from what's already happened. It's very, very important. Otherwise, it's just theory, and that gets really boring. I would love to understand from an example. As kids, this was imbibed in us. So, the sweetest example of case studies is, remember when our mothers or our teachers were teaching us words. How you would remember those words is by asking them, can you please put this in a sentence? And then you would never forget the meaning of the word. Or you would tell them, please show me a picture, photographic memory. So things like this. So that's what I want to say is that, you will only remember things or theories or principles if there are real life applications or case studies that somebody has already done on them, right? So these are the 3 things that we would be focusing. And finally, what I'd want to say, please unlearn and move on. It's very, very, very important, because sometimes what happens is there are things that we already know. We think that, hey, this is what I know. This is what I've been taught. This was written in my book. But that is not what behavioral economics is. That is not what's consumer psychology. If that was true, then you wouldn't be needing a person like me, or you wouldn't be needing a session like this. So unlearn and move on. So the basics of behavioral economics. we're going to do three things. First, we'll discuss a little bit of history of behavioral economics. Then we'll go to the neuroscience, because everything is backed up by science today, right? There's not just theory, there is science to this too. And finally, we would discuss the factors that influence behavioral decision making, which is very, very important. So, someone at the beginning of the session wrote that, hey, I want to get business leads for my business, right? So this is what will give you those business leads. Guys, can you still see my screen? Is my screen visible, please? Can somebody share something in the chat? Yes, clear. Okay, got it. So you can see the three circles on the screen, right? I'm guessing yes. Yes, perfect. Sorry for the interruption. So we'll start with history of behavioral economics, right? What is the history of behavioral economics? Traditional economics views humans as robotic. So, they used to feel that humans are robots and everything else can change, right? They thought that we were machines and then everything could be calculated on logic. But that's not true. I'll give you an example. So, the economists, Smith and everybody, they just said that, if you increase the demand, the supply increases. If you keep this constant, if you keep price constant, then the demand doesn't fluctuate, etc. But that's not true. I'll give you an example. Sometimes, what happens? We know that the price of a product has increased when a product does good in the market. Sometimes the marketeers or sometimes the sales team increases the price, inflates the price, but you still buy the product because you feel or you gain something out of using that product and you are okay to pay another price. So that it's wrong when you say that, when you keep price constant, things won't change. This comes under behavioral economics. This comes under consumer psychology. All of this rational, these earlier scientists or economics did not keep in their mind. In contrast, behavioral economic views humans as irrational and emotional beings. Sometimes you buy things out of goodness of your heart. So I'll give you an example. When you're in your car standing at the red light and there are little kids selling you pens worth rupees 20, you still buy them. That's not the original price of the pen. You'll get it for a cheaper price, but you still buy it because we are emotional beings. We sometimes are irrational, right? We are influenced by biases and experiences, and that's what helps us as humans to make decisions. And that's what a marketer needs to encounter before actually making a business plan. So this is very, very important, and this is the crux of today's session. Moving on. So who did this? So the father, so like we say, he's the father of India, he's the father of economics, he's the father of so and so. So the father of, behavioral economics and consumer psychology is Richard Thaler. So I'll tell you, I don't know how many of you have seen this movie, Big Shot, right? There was a scene in this movie wherein they wanted to explain the 2008 depression that came in the US, that happened because of the real estate boom and then the sudden real estate fall, right? They wanted to explain why it happened to US consumers, but they were trying, and consumers thought this is so difficult for us to understand. So then Richard Thaler did this. He called in a press conference. He basically hosted a party in which Selena Gomez, who has one of the highest followers in Instagram, basically came and explained this concept, this theory, and that's what made people understand it. So sometimes opening up books, sometimes doing sessions might not help it, but on the other hand, at a party when you're discussing concepts, it gets very clear. So Richard Thaler basically understood the idea that humans have an emotional side and that affects their decision making. So that is very, very important. It's something that tells them that, hey, uh, if we can't learn it the harder way, let's learn it the simpler way. So guys, I would love if you can send in questions, if you can send in doubts, whatever you feel, whatever you are able to understand, whatever you feel that I should elaborate on, because as I said, the session needs to be a two-way treat. We have to communicate with each other, right? So I hope you got this bit. Somebody just raised a hand. It'll be lovely if you could please send me the questions in the chat. If you could just send me whatever you want on the question answer panel, right? Okay, moving on. Okay, so now that we've understood that there is the history to behavioral economics, what is the neuroscience, right? So neuroscience is very simple. There are two brains, the left brain versus the right brain. The left brain is very calculating, it's conscious, it's slow, it's infrequent, it is effortful, but it is really logical. While the right brain, which is considered as the system one thinking, is automatic, subconscious, fast, stereotypic, emotional, frequent, right? So basically decision making is nothing but the mixture of these two sides of the brain, system one and system two. Think of it as a continuum rather than a discrete choice between the two systems. So brain doesn't function in a way that I am going to think from the left side today, or I'm going to think from the right side today. Brain is cognitive. You think from both the sides, and that's what contributes into the neuroscience of uh, you know uh, behavioral economics and consumer psychology. It's a very, very important thing to understand. Moving on, system one thinking. Humans coast along by using this system automatic minds for most of the time instead of being logical. So system one, people are not logical. They just do a very stereotypical thing. It's prone to variety of systematic biases and errors like overconfidence, right? I know how to do this. I will do it. So that's system one. Automatic hardwired behavior. So this behavior is hardwired into our systems, something that we've been learning since we were kids, since somebody taught us, okay, this is the religion you need to follow. That is nothing but your system one thinking, blind applications of rules of thumb, and spontaneous intuitive responses. So whatever comes to your mind first is something that you said. So for example, I did the question answer round also, right? Whatever came to your mind, the intuitive thinking is Iron Man. Some of you answered that, but I said wrong answers only. That takes logic. But system one dominates most of our choices and behaviors because we've been taught that. That's been hardwired into our system. That's something that, we've always been following. Moving on. What is system two? Using our system two, that's effortful mind, come up with the answer is physically demanding. It's challenging. You have to think over a problem. You have to mull over a problem before you actually say that, hey, this is what I'm going to say, or this is what I'm going to not say. Engaging with a cognitively demanding task also depletes our ability to use the automatic part of our brain, right? Using system two effectively makes us blind to the oddest things in ways we would not believe if someone just told us about them. I will explain what this means. You follow a religion blindly, right? But sometimes you question choices. You say that, hey, I think that this is wrong. I don't think that, this is the right way to think about this problem. That is nothing but system two thinking. It is effortful. It takes time. It basically makes you go against all your biases. But that's what's important for us to understand, such that we as marketers or we as business people can actually formulate and understand a marketing strategy into place which encompasses behavioral economics and consumer psychology. If there are any questions, please feel free to answer or ask. Moving on. Pop quiz. Let's do this. Which letter completes the word here? Very quickly then into the chat. I'm going to set 1 minute to the timer. We are at 5:41. I'm taking answers till 5:42. Which letter completes the word here? Okay, I have one answer. Soap, correct. A, okay. A, okay. U, okay. A, okay. Perfect. And we still have about 20 seconds left on the clock. Anybody else who'd want to answer? Okay. All right, time's up. So, both are correct. It could be an A also, and it could be a U also. So soap is also right, soup is also right. Your answer, the one that you answered, strongly affects by what you were doing or what you were thinking. So example, if you're thinking of washing, right? If you just had food and you're thinking of washing your hand, then you suddenly come to the conclusion soap. But if you're hungry, if you've not had your meal properly, then you would say soup. Since this session is post lunchtime, most of you answered A, because you've had your food, right? Your stomachs is full, and hence you answered soap. But if I would have conducted this session at 2:30, when it was lunchtime, or probably at 9:30 when it was dinner time, then most of you would have answered you. So that is an example right there. This is a very, very important learning, guys. It's a very, very high mark of this session, which tells you that consumer thinks according to them. Whatever they're doing, whatever they've done in the past, whatever is coming in the future is how their minds are thinking. And hence, the letter that you wrote is something that you were thinking or probably had done right before, right? Perfect. Next question. Which of the two black circles is bigger? Very quickly then. 1 minute on the clock. Which of the two circles is bigger? The left or the right? Right side, right. Okay, okay. One around the small red circle. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, fair enough. And that brings us to the end of this question. They are identical, guys. The size of both the black dots is absolutely same. Yes, Manoj said it. It's usually how we think about it. We think if something is surrounded by smaller things, we automatically think it's big. There's a saying from the past which says that there's a line, you can't rub it, but you need to make it smaller. You draw a bigger line next to it, and that immediately becomes smaller. So the circles were identical, but most of you said right because it was surrounded by smaller circles. However, the left side circle, black circle, was exactly same, but most of you said nothing about it because it was surrounded by bigger circles. So that's another learning, guys. Sometimes what we see is actually the same. It's a comparative study, but just because of the surrounding, we feel that this is better. So I'll explain. When you go to a shop, you ask for a conditioner. You don't get the brand's conditioner, but you look for the second best choice. You think, ye bhi waisa hi hai. And that is behavioral economics, because you don't want to make that round again. So you go with the next best thing, although everything is identical, right? So it's a very, very important learning, guys. If there are any questions, I'd love to take them in the chat. Moving on. So both the circles were identical. Okay. Marketing and the relative framework of human choice and decision making. So something that we just studied, both the circles were identical, but because of the relativity, we felt one was bigger than the other. How do we apply this? Human decisions are never made in vacuum, but in a particular context. Change of context could change the decision. Very, very important learning. If the supply of my shampoo is broken, or they say that we are not making this shampoo, I will choose another one. But if my shampoo is available, I would think this is the best for my hair. So if you change the context, somebody's buying decision changes. And this is very, very important. Factors that influence human decision making. So something known as bounded rationality. What is bounded rationality? Let's understand this with an example. We think of satisfies rather than optimize. What do I mean? Let me give you an example. You go to a restaurant, and usually, when you want to impress somebody, or when you want to, think of them at, you place them at a higher pedestal, you end up ordering wine. You don't order the regular drink you take. So when I go out, I will not order a cocktail, I will not order a hot drink. I will say that, hey, I'll have a glass of wine, because that, I don't know why, it's inside the human psyche that wine is a very work drink. Wine makes you feel all serious, and wine makes you feel all classy. So there was an experiment that was done that, there were two wines, they were exactly same, but the pricing was different. One was priced at $15 and the other was priced at $20. Whereas there was another wine in the menu, which was priced at, let's say, $45, right? Now, I want to go out. I want to impress somebody. I will always order the $20 wine. I will never order the $15 wine because that'll make me feel a little cheap. Whereas both the wines in ingredients and everything are very, very similar. The best example of this could be a Sula and a Jacob's Creek. Both wines are very, very similar, yet customers end up ordering Jacob's Creek much more than they do Sula. I see Kritik Jain raise his hand. Kritik, it would be wonderful if you could please write to me in the chat. Right, so this is another sorry. So this is another thing that's very, very important to understand, that sometimes consumer psychology is they don't know which wine to pick, right? They don't know. Nobody knows, but they will just not pick the cheapest one because that might make them feel cheap in front of the other. And hence they would go with the second best option. Sometime the first wine is definitely better. For example, I love the taste of Sula and I will just buy it any day over a Jacob's Creek. But people don't buy it because it's the cheapest wine on the menu. This is a very good thought for somebody who's looking to do pricing strategies, especially restaurateurs, who are thinking that I want to make a menu. Please use this, because humans think satisfies and not optimize. They will go with the second best, cheapest option, but they will not go with the cheap option because that might okay, actually, can you please repeat what you discussed that you explained in the webinar? Okay, you want me to repeat this one? Could you just write a yes for me? Do you want me to repeat this concept again? By show of hands or in the chat, just write yes if you want me to explain this again, otherwise we'll move on. Perfect. So I'm guessing people did understand it. Somebody just wrote in the chat. Continue. Perfect. Oh, Kritik says, can you please repeat, because they've joined in late. Hey, Kritik, it will be very difficult to repeat the session, but you can just, be on the bandwagon from now. And whatever is in the past, you can gain this, access to this case study, which is very self-explanatory. You can get access to this deck. All you have to do is post in a LinkedIn post. Please tag Sanjula Miglani. Please tag Edred, and you will get this case study. All you have to do is, I will share my email ID again. Write to me on this email, share the screenshot, and you will get this case study. Yeah, moving on. Choice architecture. So the other thing is choice architecture, which says presentation matters. So guys, this is very, very interesting. Let me explain this to you with a case study. Have you seen Netflix? Netflix has this screen on top which shows the 10 best shows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not really the best shows. Whenever they introduce new shows, they put them up over there. Human mind works in a psychology. We think, hey, they have rated this the best. Let us watch this. Once I start, and many people like me start to watch it, obviously the ratings go up. And that's how Netflix breaks the problem of chicken and egg, right? So they just present it in such a good way that you feel as a customer that, hey, this is the best choice. Let me watch this. But was it really the best choice? We really don't know. Was it really ranking at the top? We really don't know. We just made rankings for Netflix, right? So that's a very, very Kritik, you don't have to share the webinar screenshot. All you have to do is share that, you're excited about this session. Just write something. You can share a screenshot also if you'd like. Just tag me, say how excited you are about the session. Just tag Edred, and that gives you access to this presentation deck, and you can learn whatever you've missed, right? Choice architecture. So guys, any questions on this? Any questions in understanding, what choice architecture means? It's a very simple tactic that most companies do these days. They take out these best 10 lists and stuff like that, and that just increases ratings for them. Clear? Perfect. Loving the enthusiasm of this. The third is discrimination. So factors that influence human decision making. We come to discrimination. What is discrimination? Sometimes what happens is, you want to sabotage, somebody's ratings, or you want to probably, not, uh, how do I put this? Not so. Okay, let's do this with such an example. As an Indian, probably I might feel offensive into how things were projected in Pathan, right? So as an individual, because it's my personal bias, because it's a discrimination that I have, right? I will quickly put up an Instagram post or probably a Twitter post saying that Shah Rukh Khan is always tested at the Dubai airport. There might be something. So basically, negative publicity is something that I would come up with. I would discriminate against the actual thing, against the idea, and that plays a huge role. So sometimes what happens is I want to go watch a movie. I would love to see Pathan, but because I would see this so much slack on social media, because I'd see so many people not following, not liking, I would be like, hey, I don't want to go see this movie, right? And that is known as nothing but discrimination. That's another consumer uh, you know uh, uh, thing that is missing. So Kritik, you just go to LinkedIn and you will find both mine and Edred's handles. You don't have to know our email ID to put up our handles. Just @Edred, @Sanjula Miglani, and you get it. Yes, Jayesh, we'll come to cognitive. Don't worry. So this is discrimination. And now we come to cognitive bias. I hope discrimination is clear. I hope you don't have any doubts about it. In case there is anything, please let me know. One important thing about discrimination is that the bias comes from something which is unrelated. So they'll not talk about the movie Pathan. They will talk about Shah Rukh Khan and how you can create a discrimination against him and probably sabotage the brand. So that is discrimination, something that is not directly impacted about what product or service you're actually trying to market, right? Any questions? I'm waiting in the chat. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to quickly come back to the screen for the confusion that we are having. Please take a screenshot of this, Kritik. All you've got to do is post a LinkedIn post, how excited you are about the webinar. You can share a screenshot. All you've got to do is please tag Sanjula Miglani and Edred. Use the hashtag Masterclass by Sanjula. Everybody who wants the access to this presentation, you will have to share this screenshot with me on the email ID that I've shared, and then I'm going to give you the access to the presentation. Perfect. Moving on to cognitive bias. Guys, if you have any questions, please put them up in the chat. Okay, cognitive bias. Individuals make choices based on their beliefs and values and how they interpret the world. Sometimes what happens is, this is right for me, that is wrong for me. This is absolutely wrong for me, this is absolutely right for me. Comes from within. That's a personal choice. It is not exactly about the product or the service that you're taking, but something that is personally arising in your head. This is known as nothing but cognitive bias. Let me explain you. There is an Android. Okay. Android had UI customizability. It has value for money. It has a lot of free apps. It has a lot of free pirated apps. It has better camera quality sometimes. Still, people go and buy an iPhone. Why? Dude, it's an iPhone. You want to ask them, why are you buying this phone? I've always bought an iPhone. I've always been an iPhone user. I've always been an Apple user. That's their answer. This is nothing. It's a cognitive bias. It's because I like it. And that's the end of the story. It could be because of any other reason. It could be because that gives me a status in the society. It could be because it's easier for me to use. I don't want to switch to an Android. It's too much hassle for me. I'm not a very techie, all of that. So that's the reason why people buy an iPhone and not an Android. Simply that, nothing else, right? So this is nothing but your cognitive bias. Moving on. Then we go to herd mentality. Herd mentality is nothing but the plus one theory. So many times on WhatsApp, you'd see, I also want to do this. Plus one. Somebody will write a long comment and you'd just say plus one on a group or on a community. This is nothing but herd mentality. People sometimes do things, buy stuff, take services because others are also doing it. The best example is Airbnb customer testimonials. You look at it and you think, हाँ इनको अच्छा लगा, हमको भी अच्छा लगा. You're a different person. You might like different things, but still consumers follow a herd mentality. So when you're designing a marketing campaign, be very, very cognizant of the fact that if you do a good strategy around, taking customer testimonials, talking about your product and others talking about it, you might give a very, very nice campaign. Fair. So that is what is herd mentality. So now we've discussed the factors that influence behavioral economics and consumer psychology. Any confusion, please ping me up on the chat. If there is any confusion. Before we start fundamental BE theories and concepts on consumer psychology and how marketers can benefit from that, if there are any questions, I would love to take them up. Okay, no questions, nothing on the chat. So moving on. Fundamental behavioral economics theories and concepts on consumer psychology. We are going to discuss three things today. One, triggers of influence. What are the triggers that influence this behavior? Second, some behavioral economic theories. And finally, some concepts. So these are three things that we're very quickly going to cover in today's session. The 6 triggers of influence: liking, reciprocity, commitment and consistency, social proof, authority, and scarcity. So these are 6 triggers of influence. Let's discuss them in detail. What is liking? Okay. So Tupperware, Amway, products like these, companies like these did a great marketing strategy. What they did was they picked up housewives, mothers from a society. They thought these are likable people. They gave their products to these likable people who started to sell them. And in a very, very short span of time, they created a robust network of marketing. Guys, this is as easy as this. If you see that the likability of this person, this website, this so for example, so many products are kept on Amazon. Why? Because the likability is more. I would tend to buy a product from Amazon versus from the site itself, because my likability towards Amazon is more. So this is nothing but liking, right? You can make people, it's a trigger, right? It influences business, behavioral economics and consumer psychology. Any question? Any question? Clear. Perfect. Moving on. Liking. Liking can originate out of these things. Familiarity. So I know this influencer. I'm familiar with this influencer. When this influencer markets something, it's great. Yes, Kritik, I can repeat. Let's go back a little. Liking is nothing but, association that comes to a consumer towards anything else. So Amway and Tupperware did this campaign wherein they picked up housewives, they picked up mothers from societies which were really likable, right? And that's when they started this entire campaign of, placing these women in the market and then selling product through them. So as I was explaining, liking is through all these factors. Familiarity. I'm familiar with this influencer. I like it. I like him. I like her. I will buy a product if this influencer says. Likability. Conditioning and association. Amras. Katrina is associated with it. Today I see it, I buy it because there is a familiarity, there is a conditioning, there is an association I get. I feel that If I'm drinking this drink, somewhere there's Katrina on my mind, right? Attractiveness. We all know sex sells, right? So sometimes brands, for example, Axe sells in India because of this. That, hey, if you apply this deodorant, you will have X number of girlfriends, right? Contact and cooperation. Sometimes what happens is that when a brand is very considerate, would you want to join our newsletter? Would you want to know things about us? So that also comes under liking. And finally, compliments. Salespeople do this a lot. Ma'am, you're looking beautiful. Your skin is radiant. What do you use? Would you like to try this product? So compliments also plays a great role, which affects or influences personal liking. Yeah, clear? Reciprocity, the science of giving. Let me explain a Coca-Cola experiment that was done before I come to this concept. So one person was holding a banner which said, "Will you buy some raffle tickets from me?" Second, there was a person who would come and say, "Would you want to have a Coca-Cola?" You'd have the Coca-Cola, and then he'd say, "Now that I've made you have a Coca-Cola, would you want to buy this raffle ticket?" Somehow, if somebody gives me something, I feel indebted to that person. And to close that indebtion, I usually go buy things. So it's a good example. For example, usually you have a tit for tat analogy, right? Somebody has given me something, usne mujhe itne ka gift diya, I also should return it. So something that Sheldon Cooper also said, right? The point of gifting is useless because someone or the other ends up giving up something more than required, right? And once that happens, that's known as reciprocity. So somebody came to my place, gifted me something, now I feel the need of going back and giving something. So how is the principle of reciprocity used? Prime does this a lot. 30 days free membership. Use Prime for free for 30 days. The minute you use it, you somehow feel a little indebted. Ki, let's buy it now. I've used it for 30 days. So that is nothing but reciprocity. Try before you buy it. So it's another thing that, Nykaa and Myntra do. Try this product and then you can buy it. Now once you try it, you feel that genuine. They're genuine people. They're selling it they're first giving it to free for me to try, right? So they are genuine people. That is nothing but reciprocity, right? So that's another trigger. I have questions in the chat. In Hindi we tell jaise ko taisa, meaning yes, absolutely, yes. The next is commitment and consistency. What does commitment and consistency mean? It's nothing but when, as a marketer, I'm consistent with my messaging. Commitment, that's what, okay, so let me explain. When I say out in public or on my Instagram handle or on my LinkedIn handle that I'm going to, shed some weight, it becomes easier. When I say that I want to quit smoking, it becomes easier because I commit to it, right? And then people also help me to go down that route. So it's very, very important. Commitment and consistency is something which is a very important influencing factor. Let's come to an example. Tutorials, right? There are 4 steps. There are 4 steps to this form. By the time you filled the 3rd step, you feel there's just one more to go. And that's something that really helps, trigger consumer psychology. So commitment and consistency. Another example could be the 60% is left. Please fill this form, right? Finally, social proof. What is social proof? Social proof is nothing but when you see that the product is being used by a lot of other people, So let me give you an example. Okay, I shouldn't, but let me still do it. So today I asked you guys to post on LinkedIn. What am I doing? I'm increasing social proof for myself. Next time I do a session, people would know so many people attended this session. They liked it. Probably it's a good one. Let us take it too. So that is the example of social proof. This is a dress, right? It was worn by many girls. They are posting it online. There is social proof. I know that the dress works. It looks nice. The cloth material is nice. Let's go buy it, right? There are more examples. For example, Neil Patel, right? 3 lakh 50,000 happy customers and counting. Social proof, right? Moving on. Another example of social proof is Amazon reviews. Great. It's a great way how you can earn audiences, how you can earn legit customers. Authority. People have a tendency to obey authority figures when asked to perform unpleasant acts also. I'll give you an example. Amitabh Bachchan says polio ki do boond. People take it because it's an authoritative figure which is saying it. Fair enough. So once a authoritative figure comes and says something, people do follow it. In other words, people not only respond to legitimate authority, they also respond to the appearance of it. Amitabh Bachchan also did that entire Cadbury no worms ad, right? That also played very well because, well, authority said it. There are more examples of authority. Sensodyne, the toothpaste works because it's tested by dentists, right? The minute they say this, it's the best example, right? Again, authority. Scarcity, very, very intelligently done. So basically, I don't know how many of you watch Shark Tank, not the Indian Shark Tank, the Shark Tank, right? So Laurie, who's the owner of QVC, uh, came up with this concept. When you create scarcity in the market, it creates an urgency. And because of that urgency, you buy the product. Redmi 9, 2 left in stock. You'd be like, Jaldi le lo. Let's buy it very quickly. It'll go out of stock any second. So you are creating a scarcity and people go crazy buying it. That's another trigger to consumer psychology, another factor that influences. So infomercial giant QVC, hotel and airfare site like Expedia and even Amazon all employ scarcity similarly by displaying quantity countdowns, only 9 left in stock, and time constraints. Wanted tomorrow, September 24th, order within 2 hours, 50 minutes, and choose 1 day shipping at checkout. Interesting. You'll get it by tomorrow. You're creating that urgency, right? So now we'll come to correlation between marketing and behavioral economics theories. But before that, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. So I'm at 6:10. We'll resume at 6:12. Please take a 2-minute water break, have water, come back enthusiastic. We'll just take a very quick, short 2-minute break. In that time, if someone of you have questions, please post them in the chat. Your time starts now. Hi guys, we are back. I hope everybody's online. Send in a quick yes, please, on the chat and we'll quickly begin again. I hope that you've had water. Okay. I have one yes. Okay. Perfect. So starting, what is the correlation between marketing and behavioral economic theory? So we've spoken so much about, behavioral economics. We've spoken so much about consumer psychology. How do we correlate them? Let's come to the first theory, loss aversion. Loss aversion, the power of ownership. So basically, what is loss aversion? You tell somebody you're going to lose it, people get scared. They want to buy it. Be definitive by setting a time frame and be specific by stating a clear loss. Example, there was an experiment, right? There were two types of gift vouchers. Gift voucher, gain $5, save $5. The save $5 always works better because you feel gain, I don't want to gain, yeah, it must be a scam. Save, how do I save it? This is my hard-earned money, I want to save it, right? Similarly, Amazon did this. Your cashback is on hold versus get 750 rupees of cashback. This messaging worked better because you just told the customer that there would be a loss, right? Get 90 cashback for 18 to 24 years old only. To avail this offer, verify your age by submitting an identity proof and selfie versus you will lose your rupees 90 cashback. People will always pick that. So this theory is known as nothing but loss aversion. The second one is cognitive overload. What is cognitive overload? Less is more. In an experiment, there was seen that, sometimes when you give the consumer so many choices, so for example, 24 choices of jam, 6 choices of jam, there were people, so 60% people came when there were 24 choices. However, only 3% people actually bought the jam because they were so confused versus 6 choices of jam. Although only 40% came, but 30% ended up buying it also. So that's what you need. You don't want, so many people coming, but then finally nobody understanding the value of the product. That's why, it's always said that please offer less, but make it the customer's while worth, right? Even in Shark Tank, if you hear, so I am a big fan of the show, right? If you hear, they always discourage saying, please don't make so many products. Nobody's going to buy so many products. Make good products. Even if you just make 10 of them, they should be good products, right? All right, moving on. Mental accounting. What is mental accounting? Let me give you two scenarios. Scenario A. And I want you to be very attentive for this because I'm going to ask answers, right? So scenario A is, imagine that you have decided to see a play where the admission is rupees 2,000 per ticket. As you enter the theater, you discover that you have lost a rupees 2,000 note. Sorry, that's an error by me. It's a rupees 2,000 note. Would you still pay rupees 2,000 for a ticket to the play? Please answer yes or no in the chat. Please quickly answer. Subhash, you say repeat the last one, okay? Right after this, we'll go back to it, okay? Let's quickly do mental accounting and then we will go back. All right. I'm going to ask the question again. Imagine that you've decided to go see a play, where the ticket was, let's say, rupees 2,000. As you enter the theater, you discover that you have lost rupees 2,000 note, Would you still pay 2,000 rupees to get the ticket to the play? Please write yes or no very quickly then. 1 minute on the clock. I only have one answer from Chakali. Depends on what I gain from it. So much, it's a play. You have to decide whether you want to go see it because you've lost 2,000 rupees or no. You can never know what you gain from it until you see the play. Guys, time is running out. I need a yes or a no. Fast. Okay, fair enough. All right. Scenario B. Imagine that you have decided to see a play and paid the admission price of rupees 2000 per ticket. As you enter the theater, you discover that you have lost the ticket. The seat was not marked and the ticket cannot be recovered. Would you pay rupees 2000 for another ticket? Yes or no? Okay, so Vash says no. Fair enough. All right. So in an experiment, these two scenarios were given. Exactly. The theory that I tried to test is absolutely on the chat. Earlier option they said yes, but this option they said no. You know why? Most people said yes, lesser people said yes. Do you know why? You've decided to see the play. As you enter the theater, you've lost rupees 2000, but you've not lost your seat. So there is a sense of stickiness to that seat. However, in scenario B, you lost your seat, and that's your 4000 rupees down both ways. In both the scenarios, you are going to lose 4000 rupees, but still people prefer scenario A because in scenario A, they have a affinity towards their seat and they have not lost their seat. In scenario B, they've lost the ticket and they don't want to buy a new one. So this is a study, it's mental accounting, right? In both cases, the person is 4000 rupees down, but they will still go or prefer scenario A versus scenario B. So sometimes what I'm trying to say is it always doesn't add up, right? As a behavioral economist or a person who's setting up their marketing strategy based on consumer psychology, you have to keep in mind these things that, the customer will feel affinity towards the seat. So let us do this, right? Okay, now as promised, we'll quickly go back to cognitive overload. You want me to repeat this, right? Right, Subhash, you want me to repeat this? Yes, okay. Cognitive overload is basically nothing but less is more. Sometimes you fill the customer's mind with so many products, services, etc., that they land up taking nothing because you give them so many options, right? If you see on Amazon also, there was an ad that did or the cow. Keep showing, keep showing. The customer gets so confused that they land up buying less versus if you show them limited choices, they will always buy more. That is nothing but cognitive overload. So there was an experiment that was done, 24 choices of jam. 60% people came to shop, but only 3% of them finally bought it because there were so many options versus there were 6 choices of jam. Lesser people came to see it, but more out of them landed up buying it. So this is nothing but cognitive overload. You give less, but you make the customers worth the while, the customer's time worth the while. And that's when they'll end up buying more. Is it clear now? Any questions? Okay, moving on. So mental accounting. Whether a gain is saved or spent is source dependent. Customers tend to segregate gains and integrate losses. They feel like gains to theek hai, they're different, but those are big ho gaye. They integrate the loss, right? We tend to value what we possess more than what we don't. So when the seat was still a customer's, they value it more versus when they've lost the seat. This is known as nothing but the endowment effect, right? Moving on. What's the next influence? Present bias. This is known as nothing but tomorrow's problem. The present bias refers to the tendency of people to give stronger weight to payoffs that are closer to the present time when considering trade-offs between two future moments. I will explain what this means. There is a monthly package and there is a yearly package. Usually when you're going for a subscription model, right, there is a monthly package and there is a yearly package. People tend to buy the monthly package thinking that this is something I'm gaining right now. They forget the overall benefit. If you look at Hotstar, their monthly package is so expensive and their yearly deal is so much better. I would always want to pick that. And we all look at content, right? So why not buy it? But because of the consumer psychology, you tend to look at the present. कि अभी तो ये मिल रहा है ना. This is what I'm getting right now. So let me take that, even if I have to spend 2 rupees extra, right? They look at the tangible benefit. What's in it for me now? And the ease of use, how easy and fast they can get it, right? What they don't understand is the long-term benefit that they might get out of it, right? The example I've already told you, that Hotstar offers a much cheaper uh, subscription model if you go for the yearly model. Saliency. This is a very, very interesting case study. Okay, I want you to all to be very, very attentive. So the operations team at Schiphol airport in Amsterdam had a problem. No matter how many times a day the janitorial team made the rounds, the men's urinals were always a mess. They would just be left, right, and center, something men do all the time, right? Saliency is nothing but stand out of the crowd. How do you appeal to this? So what they did was, they made a fly's picture on the urinal and they said, hit the fly. They placed an etching of a fly inside each urinal bowl. Okay. And they said, aim the fly. Everybody started to play this as a game. They gamified it. 80% reduction in spillage, 8% drop in cleaning cost. Guys are simple-minded and love to play with their urine stream. So you put something in the toilet bowl and they aim at it. It could be anything. It just happens that at Schiphol, it's a fly. It was so simple. The entire idea originated from saliency. They understood that people like to stand out from the crowd. And that's what made this a huge marketing success. Hi, Sushant. Hi. All right, moving on. Saliency, another thing, another example is your iPhone 11 Pro. Stands out. My Pro stands out. I'm going to buy it. iPhone 11 and 11 Pro have the same features, but just because of that added camera pleasure, people will buy it. It's known as nothing but saliency. All right, guys, now that we have moved into the second leg of this presentation, I am going to offer you another resource. One was the presentation. The other resource is one unique case study from the real life for your learning, outside the ones that we have discussed today. All of this you will get just through the LinkedIn post. What do you have to do to get this? First of all, how many of you are psyched to get this resource? I will tell you what the case study is about. The case study is about Starbucks. The corporation had to come under intense scrutiny from environmental enthusiasts in 2012 for contributing around 4 billion single-serve cups as trash each year that ended up in landfills or as litter, causing significant damage to the ecological footprint. How did they come up with a solution to actually reduce this? And the Starbucks cup was the huge rage. How many of you want access to this? Please write yes on the chat very quickly then. Okay. Okay, perfect. So what do you have to do? You have to put in an Instagram story. Put an Instagram story about what you're learning in today's masterclass. Tag Sanjula Miglani and Edred. Please use the hashtag masterclass by Sanjula. Very quickly, whoever sends me a screenshot of this Instagram story gets access to this case study. Otherwise, I'm sorry, but you will miss out on it. So I'm going to give you guys another minute to post the stories very quickly. All you have to do is Just make a post, say how excited you're about what you're learning in today's masterclass, and please tag Sanjula Miglani and Edred. Use the hashtag masterclass by Sanjula. Very quickly. I'm waiting. Okay, so whoever sends me the screenshot, I have already shared my email ID. You can put a Facebook story, Jayesh. Please tag Edred, please tag Sanjula, and send me a screenshot. This is my email ID. Once you send a screenshot, the case study will be available for your use. Perfect. Moving on. Real life applications and case studies. How many of you are interested? Let's go ahead. Let's dive deeper into some real life case studies that I have compiled for you. Rail safety in India, final mile. Very interesting. Please listen to this very carefully. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to actually understand how this problem was eradicated. There's much that's surprising about the city of Bombay, but one of the most astonishing facts is the leading cause of unnatural death in the city, being hit by a suburban train. Yes, on an average, trains in the Indian metropolis kill 10 people every day who are attempting to cross the railway tracks. This was a real world problem. To understand why so many people get hit by trains in Mumbai, it's important to consider the city's unique and complex geography. Mumbai's suburban railway network, whooping 7 million people a day from suburbs into the narrow peninsula that is the heart of the city. By being Mumbaikars manage their daily commute, it's very much a lifeline. But the railway's layout almost makes it a potential death trap. Every day, people of all ages must cross from one side to the railway lines to the other to go to school, to shops, to work, etc. There are few footbridges, very few footbridges, and they're tough to climb because they have to be tall enough to avoid the power lines running above the trains. Inevitably, most people who need to get to the other side take the easier route. But the danger is immense. There are typically 4 sets of track to get over, the train passing on an average every minute, 21 hours of a day, and often at speeds of 60 mph or more. That's the speed of the train. It is impossible for people to take footbridges. It takes so much time. Also, it's very, very difficult to do this. The structural problems causing the high number of fatalities were clear, but the psychological factors were not clear. Functionally, it was understandable. What difficult, etc. People are running for time, etc., etc., etc. But there were psychological factors around it which were not clear. Once they dove deeper, they understood people were getting hit when crossing the lines between stations. Most of these deaths happened in broad daylight. Usually you think people must be drunk and the deaths are happening at night. No, they were happening in broad daylight. Most of the victims were healthy young men crossing the tracks for everyday needs. So it's not like that these victims were old. They were healthy young men. One key observation was that who died had crossed the tracks, not because they didn't see the oncoming train, but in spite clearly spotting it. They were aware of the risk, but overconfident about their ability to cross safely. These people were really overconfident. They thought it's too much time for the train to come. We'll cross it. And that's why these deaths were happening. The biggest consumer behavior, overconfidence, when people think we can do it, right? Maybe the others can't. And that is why most of these instances were taking place. So what were the learnings? The current system of warning signs, text, stick figurines, illustrations was not working out. The train drivers were honking, right? But those honks were not working out. People crossed even when they could clearly see the train. So then, why would they underestimate the speed? Why would they think they could see the train coming, but they would still cross it? Why? What did we do? What was something that rail safety in India did? What were the solutions that they came up with? First, the existing text-based warning signs needed to be replaced. So they replaced with these signs. They took an actor. This scared people. Okay, they didn't want to cross the rails because they understood that if they do, this is what's going to happen to them, right? The goal was to provoke an instant fear in viewers, right? They didn't know, or they didn't need to know, that the unfortunate victim was really an actor, right? Moving on. Rail safety in India. What were the other solutions? So usually, it's scientific. When you place one honk, people don't get it. They get it in peaks, right? That's how your brain functions. So the new horns that were put, rather than going honk honk, they would go like, just like an ambulance sound, right? That inculcated fear in people, and then they stopped crossing. Instead of a single long hoot, they did a horn blasting episode, right? Which really helped. And because of understanding the consumer psychology, this problem was eradicated. The next thing is, although the train would be coming, but people would underestimate the speed. So what they did was, the train's going faster than you think. If you put yellow lines on the train track, it appears that it's coming faster than it usually is, right? So they put yellow color at regular intervals, which scared people, which actually made them understand that, hey, this is not something that we should be doing, right? On either side of the trespassing points, these clear yellow marks were made, and that's what helped them understand the speed of the train. There were results. The new solutions were first piloted at the trespassing point that saw an average of 40 deaths a year. It came down. After 1 year of implementing the 3 interventions, the number had fallen to 10, a reduction of 75%. This is so greatly surpassed everyone's expectation. So it was scaled to 5 other locations, and it also saw reductions between 40 to 70% in the number of death. So that's how important consumer psychology, or that's how important behavioral economics is. All right. Now, guys, this is a very different case study. The Starbucks case study, if you want that, you need to make that post. Very quickly, coming to some live examples, the Starbucks cups. So Starbucks introduced a range of absolute luxury pricing, right? If you're paying some X amount of money on, let's say, coffee, which is unreal, right? So the same coffee you can make at home for like 10 rupees, but you would go out, have that cup of coffee. There was a luxury range of pricing. So to ensure that customers do not get a shock, of the price, when the customer looked at the menu, they introduced 3 cup sizes. One is tall, one is venti, and one is grande. Now, technically, all three mean tall. All three mean tall in different languages. So venti is Italian, right? And grande is Spanish. So technically, all 3 cups are large, but just to play with the consumer's mind, they named them tall, venti, and grande. And because of that, people started to buy that. And sometimes the poor folks would get so scared of asking that, what's the difference, that they just say, oh, I'll have a venti, because they'll automatically think venti means medium and grande means large and tall is tall, right? So a movie, Role Models, right, in 2008, you could see him actually questioning Starbucks that all the 3 things mean the same thing. So it is nothing but them playing with the consumer psychology, right? Something that many brands do these days to sell the product. Okay, then there is another example by The Economist. So The Economist is arguably regarded as an intelligent person's best companion. What is the purpose of putting the digital subscription offer? It is a decoy that is strategically placed to make subscribers believe that the combined print plus digital offer price is a good deal. And when you see a good deal, you can't refuse it. So basically, economists kya karte hai? They put in three things, right? Print, digital, and print plus digital. Obviously, you would go for print plus digital, right? Like why would you go for anything else? So again, they basically do nothing but play with the consumer psychology. So guys, this brings us to the end of today's session. Before I end, I'm going to discuss some key takeaways that we discussed on behavioral economics. What were the principles that we went through? The first is try to choose the best available option. This is very, very important. Something that consumers, have it in their head. And that's why also that impacts their psychology so much. People are concerned how they do versus benchmarks. Very, very important. People have issues with self-control. Yes, I am a self-confessed shopaholic. I said that on, before this session started, before, while I was giving my introduction, that, people have an issue with self-control. So you can really play on that psyche and, get a good deal out of marketing your product or service. People can be partially protected by restricting their options. As I said, please don't give them a lot of options. Once you do that, then they tend to buy less. Finally, in markets too, psychological factors play a big role. So these are some key takeaways on behavioral economic principles. Please go back to the books. These are some interesting thoughts. There is The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis, one of my absolute favorite. The Upside of Irrationality, I think I love it. Blink by Malcolm. This is a book that I would really recommend for the most of you. The Smartest Screen, again, very, very intelligent. Please, in case you want to follow up on consumer psychology and behavioral economics, these books would really help you guys. You can just, look at them. And finally, these are some resource links that I would love for you guys to have. But you can only have this presentation if you share that screenshot with me. Thank you so much, guys. Please follow me on LinkedIn. Please look me up on Instagram. Please look Edred on. And in case you're looking to start your digital marketing career, in case you're looking to learn something tangible, they have amazing courses. All you got to do is go to their website, and well, that's that. So this brings us to the end of this session. I will allocate another 5 to 10 minutes for question and answer. Please, send in your questions in case you have any. I see Mr. Sanjeev raising his hand. It would be lovely if you could put it on the chat, whatever questions you have. Beautiful. So I have a question. Jayesh says, definitely will follow back. Thank you so very much, Jayesh. Loved the enthusiasm. Any other questions? All right. I think I will give it another 2 minutes. If you have any questions, it'll be lovely. But it's good to understand that the session was interesting and, we do not have questions. That means whatever I did was right. Self-validation is very important. Any other questions about Edred? I think you can just write to me on that as well. Perfect. Anything else you'd want to ask? Any slide that you guys didn't understand? Yes, I have something on the chat. Who is that in the photo? Oh, obviously that's me in the photo, yeah. Why would I put someone else's picture? But good question, Manoj. Totally off screen. Okay. Thank you guys. It was wonderful, getting hosted on this session. I would love to interact with you guys on my social media handles offline. LinkedIn, I'm pretty active on. If there's anything else I can help you with, please write to me on sanjmiglani@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Had a wonderful time. And in case there are any more questions, you can write directly to Edred as well. Thank you. Have a good day. Setting time. Oh, Jesh has a question. I will quickly take it. Setting timer on landing page scarcity in terms of stock concept is clear. Oh, yeah, great. Perfect. Yes, that is a very good tactic. Amazon uses it a lot. My sister is with them, so I know I have fallen to that trap a lot many times. Fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the interaction.
Crores. India has over 40 crores internet users, and your next potential client is probably scrolling right now. Kickstart your digital marketing career with beginner and expert courses. Become a digital marketing pro in social media optimization, search engine optimization, content marketing strategies, infographic design, web development, and much more. Gain experience in over 20 different tools, 10 secret hacks to increase engagement, and reach with live classes from our domain experts.
What are you waiting for? Register now to be certified and Edredified.